Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Bird, Nick, and today I actually have an interview. I swear, I have guests. But first, I'm kind of bookending. So earlier today, I sat and I spoke with Jim Paquette and Chef Charlie of the New Hampshire area, and they've been up to some stuff. They built themselves an outdoor smoking room, shed. They call it. Well, we'll get into all that. You'll hear all about their outdoor smoking area, as well as Jim's awesome humidors and other stuff that Chef's got going on. But first, before we get into that, I'm gonna fire up a cigar because I smoked with them, but I'm sitting out here. I'm doing the bookends. So I'm going to fire up a cigar. Realistically, it's going to take me next to no time to record the front of this show and the end of this show, but I want a cigar for it. So, it's my thing. Whatever. Screw you. I'm going to do what I want. So today, I'm going to be firing up a personal favorite of Chef Charlie's. I want to make sure that I give him the proper attention here. So I'm going to fire up a personal favorite cigar of Chef Charlie's. And today, for the bookends at least, I'm going to be smoking the Rocky Patel Vintage 2003 Cameroon. Now, this is the box press version that came in the silver anniversary bar that United Cigars put out. This is the box press version. Features a Cameroon wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers, all from our friends at Rocky Patel. And it's even got the little United Cigars foot band on it, so I'm going to take that off because you don't want to set fire to the foot band and all that. But I'm going to cut the cigar, and because this is a 2-cigar episode in a roundabout way, they benefit from it. So the cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. 2 Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows 2 Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So please go over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time for me to go ahead and cut the cigar. So I'm going to fire this guy up. And realistically, at that point, we're just going to jump right into the interview that I had with Jim and with Charlie, and a special guest, which you'll hear him fairly soon once we start. But first, while I fire this guy up, you guys need to hear the greatest commercial you've ever heard.
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so. They can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard. Yeah.
All righty. Well, now that we have the business of the show out of the way, why don't we go ahead and jump right into my conversation with Jim Paquette and Chef Charlie. Well, guys, we are joined by a couple of gentlemen from New Hampshire. We have on the left, we have Jim Paquette, and then we have Chef Charlie, who has been mentioned many times on the Cigar Authority. How are you guys doing?
Great. Excellent. It's a good day.
And then you also have, running the dials there, as he is, a pro at, Mr. Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere.
Everywhere.
You don't get a break.
No.
Well, you know Ed's motto, right? If it's fun, he's going to do it. And he thought this would be fun.
They have cigars here, as it turns out.
Well, and that's kind of what we're here to talk about. So where are you guys coming to us from?
So we're in a lounge that Jim built for us.
Okay.
We have named it Shetty's.
Shetty's.
And the reason it's named Shetty's is because Jim built it off of his shed.
Nice. See, I've heard of people converting their shed, but you added onto the shed.
Yeah, so I had years ago how Charlie and I met. We were doing competition barbecue, and I had bought a 16-foot long trailer smoker, and I needed to keep it out of the rain. So I built a lean-to on the back of my shed, galvanized roof, just some pressure treated 2x6s, and we were having a great debate. It started getting cold sitting out on the patio. So we came up with the idea of building into the shed, like moving all my lawn equipment out of the shed. And I figure why not? We'll just close in the lean-to. So we got some barn board from friends, ended up putting a wall made of spalted maple by accident. But we used spalted maple on one of the walls and closed it all in. We got some plexiglass windows. It's quaint.
Well, that sounds
handler. It's pretty cool.
Sounds like all kinds of fancy. And since it's designed for smoking, I think we ought to go ahead and smoke. I noticed that Chef Charlie just went ahead and went for it. So, that's fair. I mean, I inquired too. I should have started with the cigar. So anyway, I don't know. What are you guys smoking there?
I'm smoking the HPC Black Friday Ometepe.
Okay.
It's a lot of words.
That is a lot of words.
A lot of words. I got a 20th anniversary Epicure Sun-Grown.
Perdomo?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm smoking whatever Jim gave me.
10th anniversary.
What's that size called? The Figurado.
Figurado. There you go.
There you go. Well, I have the Diamond Crown number 4. It is 5.5 by 54 with a Connecticut shade wrapper, Dominican binder, and a filler made of selection of 5 different fillers from the Caribbean and Central America.
That looks like a recent one based on the band.
Is indeed a recent one based off the band. I should take this moment right now to go ahead and thank Drew Newman and the fine folks at JC Newman for sending me a little 5-pack so that I could try these and hype up the new band work, which is really, really fancy. It's very nice. So anyway, it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. 2 Guys have been around for 40 years, and they're the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows 2 Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So please go to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. But apparently I'm the only one doing it, and that's fine. I don't mind. I got to stick to my script. You guys can do what you do. But anyway, so speaking of 2 Guys, I mean, so that's your shop. So I mean, obviously, I know Ed and I have talked about it before, but I haven't had Jim and Chef on to talk about it. So you guys want to chime in on the endorsement there for 2 Guys?
Yeah, I've been a customer of Dave's since 1993. So I've been buying from him from a long time. And it's really where I go. That's where I met Ed. And we just hang out there every Monday and Tuesday.
That's true. And this week, Saturday, too.
And this week, Saturday, too.
And Friday.
And Friday.
And Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday night.
This week will be Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. And the rest will be here in Shetty's.
So between 2 Guys and Shetty's, You're always smoking.
I'm always smoking. I'm always trying to chase Ed.
You're not when you're cooking, I think.
No, I can't do that then, but I definitely do it every other time.
You know, Ash looks like pepper. You could pass it on.
Little burnt
Everyone's like,
oregano in there.
Yeah,
What is this unique flavor to the food? I haven't tried this before.
yeah. We can tell them it's smoked.
There you go. There you go. So let's talk a little bit more about Shetties here. So you guys did this. What sort of methods did you use for keeping the heat insulated, or did you insulate it?
So we got a couple things going. When I built the shed, it's got house wrap on it, vinyl siding, plywood on the inside. So we have a good airtight wall on that side. We installed barn board on the other walls, and we put cover strips over everything so that the gaps are all covered. The wall behind us that you see is barn board horizontal. On the other side of that is vinyl siding with some plywood. So the wall behind us is pretty airtight. The wall against the shed's pretty airtight. We wanted to make sure that there was a little bit of air movement in here. We're using propane heat, so we got to worry about carbon monoxide to make sure that, we don't kill ourselves out here.
Do we
Yeah,
have
that would be bad.
Vector in here?
I already did that this week.
Yeah.
We went through and double checked everything, made sure that the heaters weren't putting off carbon monoxide. And it's a learning, it's a work in progress. We know that there's some gaps. We know that there's some air we're going to clean up. Well, this week we're actually going to install some foam board insulation on one of the other barn board walls, which will tighten it up a little bit more. We got to worry about frost coming in the Northeast. So we got to figure out that. But right now it's probably 35 degrees outside and raining. We're in here, and I'm going to guess it's somewhere in the high 60s. So it's pretty warm and comfortable in here. We have one propane heater going, maybe running, it's one of the dual head infrared heaters. We're maybe running 15,000 BTUs in a 160 square foot space. So it's warm, it's comfortable. It took a couple of different tries to get the ventilation correct.
Yeah.
We started off with a 4-inch inline fan up on one of the gable ends of the shed of the lean-to.
When we're looking at the heater right now, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the heater with a little heat-powered fan that goes on the top of it. It's just moving a little bit of air.
Okay.
There's enough air circulating in here that it's relatively warm. The smoke was getting a little thick, and as it got colder, like a couple weeks ago, there was 17 degrees outside. So with the fan pulling the air out, we decided that we were going to add an air cleaner to it. And if you look behind Chef Charlie, there's that Shark air purifier. It's designed to clean the air in a 1,400 square foot house. So we have that on automatic. So
I think I have that. It's
Yeah.
very similar. It's very similar going on right behind me, actually.
Yeah. And it'll ramp up. So if it gets smoky in here, the fan will kick in automatically. And
I always, when it goes to 0 on the screen, I always think like, oh shit, I'm out of fresh air. I'm going to die now. It's like, and it goes so quickly. It's like, it'll be blue and it'll say 96, 97, 98, whatever. You fire up that cigar and it's like, 0. And it's like, oh fuck, now we're dying. So
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
This came to fruition. We were sitting out on the patio and it Jim's telling you part of the story. So part of the design of the story is actually Jim's wife, who you met, Kristen.
Yes.
And myself. So as we were sitting out on the patio and we said, winter's coming, we're going to need something for the winter. And we said, let's take the shed. And all summer long, Jim said, I'm not turning my shed into a smoking area. Where am I going to put this? Where am I going to put that? And then finally he said the lean-to. And both of us were like, I don't know. And at one point I was ready to go out and buy a shed just so we could put it in the yard. And then we looked at all different things. We looked at yurts. We looked at a shipping container.
Yeah,
Mr. Jonathan looks at yurts a lot too. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Right.
different yurts.
Okay.
The yurt would be kind of fun.
It would. So
Yeah.
we ended up finding one night searching Marketplace. We found a 16-foot diameter grain silo in upstate New York.
Oh,
It was 12 feet tall, so it was galvanized metal. cool
But-
little thing, and we had found a picture of where they had cut out the front and put in a little bar
Yeah.
area. So we chased that idea for about a week.
Aren't grain silos really flammable when they're full of grain?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
we'd be just
Would
doing
you
cigars.
swipe it out or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, maybe.
Maybe a little bit. Put a little smokestack in there.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
god.
took us, I'll bet you it was probably 3 or 4 weeks to figure out a plan that we could actually make something that was feasible.
Right.
We had limitations. We talked about, putting it in the basement. We talked about a room in the house. We
Which
talked
was
about
which was a hard no from Jim's wife.
yeah, that was.
I can imagine that.
And I didn't want to lose a lot of workshop space in the basement, so we were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And this is the best alternative. The patio furniture had to go somewhere. We took it off the patio, and now it's sitting in Shetty's. So dual purpose, and I have a place to store my stuff for the winter.
I mean, it looks really nice, and if it keeps the heat, then I mean, it's a super awesome smoking area for you guys, especially during the wintertime when it gets so cold. Now, when you're talking temperatures there in the thick of winter, what's the lowest that you guys are going to encounter?
-3.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's unusual to even see single digits.
Yeah.
Just periods of time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I go the entire month of January here where it might be like single digits and 0 and below 0.
I mean, we might have a week of that per winter.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have thought you guys would have it worse than I do, but I've got it worse than
The
you do.
biggest thing out back here is the wind. We needed someplace where we could break the wind.
That's vital.
Yeah, if we can stop the wind from flowing, we have enough heat. Like we could put a couple more heaters in here if we needed to get it warm. But we were out here the other night. It's probably 20 degrees out. We had one heater going on high, and without the fan exhausting, I'll bet you 80 degrees plus in here.
Well, and we also when we bought this fan to put in here, Jim is the deputy fire chief, but when he was a regular fireman, he was a carpenter. So, it's mostly his idea on how to get this place to work. So, he'll say, "Oh, I want this fan because it has a thermometer on it and a thermostat on it." So that's what I ordered. So we can control that. So right now it's set for 66 degrees. So when it reaches that temperature, the fan kicks on.
Oh, nice.
And, we can set it hotter, which is what we do a lot of the times when we're sitting out here.
Yeah.
But, that's why we ended up going with that fan.
Okay.
He has all the ideas for it. And I just go, okay, that's fine.
It's all trial and error too. We started with a 4-inch inline fan that was moving, I think 200 cubic feet a minute, and it just wasn't keeping up. With 3 people, I think the other night we had 5 people in here watching football.
That's a lot of smoke.
It is. It's a lot of smoke, but
It was clear.
right. The other night it was clear in here. That's a 10-inch. I think that one's a 10-inch fan
Yep.
that'll move. I want to say it's close to 1400 CFM, 1200,
Nice.
1500 CFM. So
Yeah. See,
it'll turn over the air in here at I think it's every 3 or 4 minutes.
And then with the air purifier, which is much bigger than what we need, it's overkill for this room.
for sure.
There's 160 square feet. This is rated for 1,400. So
Now
but
see,
we're into this whole thing for $1,000.
that's what I was going to get to is what did this all cost you? So
Yeah.
in terms of like this, did you have some of the wood on hand and that's how you ended up saving
So-
some cash or?
Yeah, so
or-
we had a tree fall, maybe early springtime, took out
Okay.
the fence, but we had when they were here taking out that tree, I had another tree taken down that was questionable, and I have a buddy that runs that has a sawmill. He does it for fun, so I had him come and get the logs. He cut it all up. We stickered it. I left it sitting outside for 6 months. So when we started talking
Is
about
it
shedding,
from your yard?
yeah. So the wall behind us is literally from a tree that fell not 50 feet from where we're sitting.
Huh.
Wow.
So as we're putting this up, and I didn't realize it, and shame on me, but I built the whole wall. I was getting to one of like the last 3 pieces to put up, and I noticed in the grain that it's spalted maple.
Mm.
And here I am thinking to myself, that's $12 a board foot that I just put on the lean-to.
Could have made a nice humidor
It
out
could
of
have
that.
made a
Yeah, I was-
beautiful humidor.
well, I want to get to your humidors too.
Yeah, that's
but
that.
yeah.
It's something. Not that it's something to do, but it's, these guys came up with an idea of finding a comfortable place to smoke cigars that was close, where maybe 300 feet from the house.
Yeah.
So we can walk in and out. If you got to go to the bathroom and you don't want to go to the tree line, you can go inside.
If the tree line gets a little rough when it's like 3 degrees outside or something like that,
Yeah, we're planning on building snowmen. We're gonna work on our aim over the winter.
Yeah. Yep. That's the plan, anyhow.
Oh Lord, I love it.
So the only real cost
so-
has been the shark.
Yeah,
That was $400.
yeah,
The fan was 100. And like I said, the wood was, like Jim said, the wood was free.
yeah.
That didn't really cost us anything. But if we had to cost it out, I mean, it would still be, maybe $1,400.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't use the maple for the one wall, so that would
Correct.
save you
Yeah.
a little bit right
Yeah.
there.
The only other thing that cost us a little money, which is actually coming this week, is we ordered a Blue Flame indoor propane heater, so we don't have the outdoor one anymore.
Gotcha. Well,
But same BTUs, and of course, like everything else, we're always trying to make things better. So Jim's going to build it into the wall, and we don't have to worry about it.
pretty nifty. What's the photo collage on the wall there?
So the
the one on over
yeah.
by Charlie's side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ed will zoom in on it, but one of the girls at work, her husband's been smoking cigars for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I showed her a picture of us, what we were building out here. And she says, hey, my husband, we used to have a smoking area where it was Mantown, and she ended up taking the space over. So she asked if we wanted this print. And from what she tells me, those are magazine covers from, I believe, it's not
Cigar Aficionado.
Yeah, Cigar Aficionado pictures that she made a collage out of 20 plus years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a nice little addition. It's got some good characters up there.
Yeah, I just saw some pretty people, and I was like, "Who are these folks?" So
Oh, that's
just
Charlie.
wondering.
The pretty people's Charlie.
Yeah, that's true. The signs on the wall, the Perdomo signs.
yeah,
Nick Perdomo, he sent that up. Aladino Justo sent us the canvas print of the
Mhm.
Aladino.
hell, I don't even have that, and I'm in the Aladino Studios. Where the hell's my print, Huso?
And then we just, all the box tops all come from two guys. I said that we wanted to do a box top wall and asked them to start saving them, and
Yeah,
Jonathan started saving them all. And then one day Jim and I came in here and took them all apart and put them all up on the wall. And
Yeah. There's some there's some
Nifty.
interesting stuff. The Deadwood sign that's up behind my head. That's
yeah.
actually the box top for their coffin humidor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I got my hands on one of their coffin humidors a while back and had the box sitting in the basement. So we cut the top off, cleaned it all up, framed it out with some of the extra wood.
Yeah.
It was
No,
built.
that came out really nice.
Yeah, we got some other signs kicking around. We got another Perdomo sign, and the Joya de Nicaragua came from
You get
one
the
of the local
ombre
people.
ashtray there so that you never smoke alone.
Well, and they're not gonna run out of cutters
No, they're not.
yeah, so
or lighters.
So that started because every time I'd put my cutter down here, and Jim said, why don't we just put a hook in here and you can hang your cutter up? And I said, yeah, I don't know, if you want. And then I came in and he had all these done. And
Nice.
okay, cool. So we don't run out of cutters.
Yeah.
And then,
And
we
Yeah.
each have, he's got a Byron box and I have the Atabay box. That's where we keep our own personal stuff. Like I keep glasses, a phone charger, stuff like that in there. And we're all set up, ready to go.
man, you guys are going to be able to charge like an annual admission You know,
there's
Get-
premium
get-
wall
get-
space.
get
if you want to
memberships.
be a sponsor, we got some wall space up there that's available.
Yeah, we have different levels. We have a friend of ours who we determined last night he's a plutonium member
Oh, okay.
because we're hoping he'll put in extra power out here
Ah,
and a
Yeah, radiant floor. heating.
radiant floor. That's what we told him comes with it.
okay, okay. Well, and see, then he's got a nice warm place to smoke. I think that's a fair trade.
Well, he also has a giant garage to smoke in. We just like giving him a lot of shit about it.
I mean,
I
I'm
can tell
smoking
you,
my.
Nick, they have a nicer floor than New England Cigar Expo.
Oh well, there. That doesn't take much though.
I mean, it's not a lot nicer, but it's definitely nice.
They did. I mean, I wasn't there for the first expo, but I will say they were spreading that rock at this one.
No, it was much better this
it,
year.
it was nice. It wasn't
Much
too
better.
bad.
Yeah.
So okay, so Jim, let's talk about your humidors now, because that's the other thing that's something that I noticed when I was at your place prior to the expo was, holy shit, you make some gorgeous, very unique humidors. How did that get going?
So we Charlie, back up about a year ago, we were I was jumping down the rabbit hole of cigars.
Wait, let's back up even before that.
Oh boy.
So I've known Jim for a long time, and it doesn't matter what he does.
Well, yeah, you're a chef. You got to make friends with the firemen.
Well, yes, yeah. Well, the whole barbecue thing started, but so everything Jim does is to a ridiculous degree. So
I
when
know
he's
people
doing
like that.
barbecue. At one point, he probably had 4 or 5 different smokers, and if he could weld, he would have been welding smokers.
Okay.
So just to give you a backstory of how it happens with him.
Mhm.
What was it? Fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward now.
Yeah, that's the
That's his nickname. Because we always say to him, "Hey, you know what would be really cool?" And then fast forward, it's done. So
Okay.
we
Okay.
named it fast forward.
So I was looking, I'd gotten a few cigars and I was on Marketplace. I found a couple humidors, little small desktop ones, and I was looking at them. I wanted something bigger, so I started looking at the market, and everything out there was made in China. Everything was, mass production, came in a shipping container, and I was looking at it saying, I have the skills, I have the tools, and why not just make one? So back when I was doing carpentry and remodeling as my side gig, I had a full basement workshop, but I hadn't used it in 10 years. Life got too busy, work got too busy. And one day I came home from work and I was tired of the usual drag of coming home from work, watching TV, eating dinner, watching TV, going to bed, repeat. So I
Yeah.
came home one day and I went down to the basement. I kicked all my wife's stuff out, moved it all out of my workshop.
I'm sure that went over well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cleaned it all up, and I just started one day tinkering again. And I was religiously searching Facebook Marketplace for a cool piece of furniture that I could turn into a humidor, and I came across the white clad ice chests. So
Yes.
early 1900s, back in the days when they used to deliver ice in big blocks. You'd put it in the top of this. Your food would go underneath. There was a little drain tube to run the moisture out the bottom. And I looked at it and I was like, this is the perfect. It's well built. It's made out of oak. They've lasted 100 years. Why not try and convert one? So one day I found one on Marketplace for $25. I brought it home and I just started tearing it apart. I went to a local guy, come to find out, and things happen for a reason, but we had a call at work where it was like a smoke detector activation in a commercial building. I was reading the report, and it was a humidor wine cellar manufacturing facility in town, and I had never heard of it before.
Interesting.
So one day I went over and knocked on the door and went in and met the owner, Darren. It ended up being Vintage Makers and Smokin' Betty's Cigars in town in Hudson. So I went in and introduced myself. The owner, Darren, great guy. He showed me the ropes. He showed me his shop. He showed me some of the stuff that he had done for wine cellars. And come to find out, he's a commercial humidor manufacturer. He manufactures, 3-foot 2-foot, 3-foot, 6-foot commercial humidors, and he has them all over the East Coast. They're in convenience stores, they're in homes, they're everywhere. So
Wow.
I started picking his brain, asking him some questions. He lines all of his humidors with mahogany. So I went and got myself some mahogany and I just started building. The toughest part was really to figure out the door seals. The humidification's easy, whether it's Cigar Oasis, Moisten Air, any one of those will produce the humidity that you need. But really getting a tight box that doesn't allow the outside air to influence it. In New England, the majority of the heat is either forced hot water or forced hot air. So that'll suck the humidity right out of your humidor if it's not sealed well. So we built the first one. I learned a lot from it. Within 2 or 3 weeks, I had 3 that I was building at the same time.
Oh my gosh. You are fast forward. Okay.
Yeah. So when I get into something, it's weird. Doing remodeling, I would always spend the night before falling asleep figuring out what I was going to do the next day and how I was going to do it. So I had a pretty good idea as to, next day getting up, getting what tools I needed and, so forth. So I found myself building these things, trying to fall asleep at night.
Okay.
So it started there. I think I'm a dozen deep. We just launched a Facebook page, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
where can people find that? Or
so
obviously
it's,
on Facebook, but
Custom Humidors by Jim Paquette on Facebook.
okay.
My wife created the Facebook page. She's been producing these reels. I think the one she produced last week, has got 500 views. So she's all excited. It's got a good number. She likes round numbers. So it's been good. I've learned a lot. Every one of them is getting faster. What is it? Saturday, we're delivering a custom one for a friend.
Yep.
That was built out of a reproduction ice box, but I think it'll probably hold about 30 boxes, 35 boxes. It's all oak, mahogany, plywood, Spanish cedar, shelves and trays. And one of the things I figured out through building these was the top access. Most humidors are double doors. They open up, or a single door that opens up.
Yeah.
But I figured out a way to put a door on the top, and I build, maybe 2 or 3 inches, and then 2 or 3 inches deep, and then the full width with glass. So you can actually open up the top and grab your everyday smokes and leave
without accessing.
Yeah, leave all your boxes in the bottom to restock.
That's nice. That's real nice.
Yeah. So we
Mine's pre that. So he
yeah.
built my humidor. So before he figured that out,
you retrofit?
Yes. Yes.
he could retrofit
for a small fee.
I was gonna say, it just sounds like Chef just needs to buy another one, is what it tells me.
So Chef, we found an ice clad. It's a reproduction ice clad cabinet, but it's like 5 foot tall, 30 inches wide. It's a big boy, right?
Yeah.
So we built it out, and it was just simply for box storage. 42 boxes of cigars in his humidor right now.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of cigars.
That is a lot of cigars.
Yeah.
He's got a problem.
And
Is it a problem though?
No, I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, there's
Two guys loves it.
I bet they do.
42 boxes. I think there's 800 and something cigars in there right now. And then I have a desktop humidor that was one of those mass produced ones. So I said to him, I just want to take the glass out and, just have it a wood top. So I came over a couple days later. He completely gutted the whole thing.
I was going to say, there's no way he just took the glass out.
No. He rebuilt the whole thing. It matches my other humidor.
Oh my God.
And that holds about 130 singles. So since he didn't figure mine out and I don't have a lift up top, I have a separate one.
Okay. Well, Ed, I mean, you need to get one now too then.
I can't compete with Ed's humidor. He sent me some pictures.
Yeah.
About a month ago. I'm not at that level yet.
I had one built by a cabinet maker. Probably 25 years ago, and he was very big into exotic woods. So this is quilted maple with ebony trim.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, it's got ebony legs too, made out of billets of ebony, which was a big upcharge, as you can imagine. Because what he did is, he took an ebony billet and then cut a curve into it so it has nice curved ebony legs on it.
Yeah.
It's a nice unit.
We're actually in a pretty good price point with the smokers. We're coming
Yeah.
in. I haven't built one yet that's over $2,000. And the majority of them are down around $1,000, depending on what I have into it for time and materials. But you can get a custom made humidor for right around $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, 25 years ago, I think I paid $8,000 for that.
Yeah,
But
and today probably $30,000.
And that's the thing is, as you're telling me about this and you're saying it's like $2,000. I mean, that's not horrible for something that is custom made and is made with quality and is going to last for a long time too. I mean,
the Chinese ones, you're paying $1,000 for those.
Yeah,
precisely.
Like the 6 foot tall
single
door. I think they're like $1,700.
Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
his are, and I will say, the fun thing about Jim, and I actually love to egg it on, is he'll say to him, I'll say to him all the time, I'll be looking at something and he'll go, and I go, I don't think you can do it. All the time to him. And then he does it. So in the quality of work on the humidors is ridiculous because he doesn't take shortcuts.
Yeah. Well, I know Justo Aroa was really impressed when he was over at your house prior to the expo and you were showing him the humidors.
Yeah, I talked to him, Usto, last week. He still wants one. We just got to figure out how we're going to get it down there. We'll end up having to build it. We told Charlie and I we're going to do a road trip. We'll go down to Miami and hang out for a couple days.
Of course, we're going to bring Ed too.
Yeah,
Ed doesn't know it yet, but
it's a long drive. But
Ed will fly and meet us.
Oh, well,
there you go.
Just drop it to the roof of the Tesla. You won't have to drive at all. You just
Oh my God.
set the destination and go.
I got roof racks. We'll be fine.
Perfect.
You'll be set. Yeah. That sounds like a 80s comedy movie just waiting to happen. 3 minute in a humidor,
There you go.
Like, yeah.
We've actually done a couple interesting builds. I've been taking ammo crates.
Okay.
And old ammo crates into humidors. So
Mm.
strip out the guts, mahogany plywood inside or say sapelli plywood inside, and then build the trays out of Spanish cedar. We donated one to a local brick and mortar, Grumpy's out of Hudson, for Wounded War or Cigars for Warriors.
Cigars for Warriors.
So we built it as a donation, gave it to them, plexiglass lid so people could drop their sticks in.
Yeah.
Maintain the humidity in it. So we've done stuff like that.
I'm sitting here thinking, and this might be I'm going to throw it out there. It might be a dumb idea, but you know what? It might trigger something.
Do it.
But that's the thing. I'm sitting here. I'm like, can he do it? So old lunch pails, like the metal lunch pails that guys that would go to like the construction sites would have. Those would make awesome travel humidors.
How about a Craftsman toolbox? An old school Craftsman toolbox.
I mean, that would be good as well.
You want
Same
me to
concept.
ship it to you because it's sitting in the house ready to go?
Oh shit!
Listen, so 2 years ago, or a year ago, on my 50th birthday, Dave and Ed got me an ammo can humidor. So I brought it over to show Jim, and it's the ones they sell, and it says Chef Charlie on it, and on the inside it's just thin, real thin cedar and no shelf, nothing, just a ammo can.
Yeah, you just dump the cigars in.
Jim.
Yeah,
and I said, "Oh, it'd be really cool if I have a shelf in here." 27 minutes. He
Oh
took
my
it
God.
downstairs. He came up. I was like, "What the fuck? What's he doing down there?" 27 minutes. I had a shelf in there.
Wow.
So that's the toughest part about building this is getting Spanish cedar. So Spanish cedar, it's tough to come by. There's a distributor up in Chichester, New Hampshire called Goose Bay Lumber. They have it, but it's $11 a board foot. So a 1 foot piece, 1 inch thick, 1 foot square piece, 1 inch thick is $11.
Well, and that's why I was going to ask. So you mentioned that you use mahogany on the inside. Is that why you chose mahogany aside? The other gentleman I know
cedar is a variety of mahogany.
Correct.
I see. Okay.
Right.
I think people were drawn to Spanish cedar in the olden days because it has more pest resistance to it.
Yep.
Okay.
So with the beetles and what have you, not the band. However,
Yeah. No.
That
bugs.
is it's much less of a problem these days. So
Mhm.
I'd be perfectly happy with mahogany instead of cedar.
Yeah, the only thing the cedar gives you is that humidor aroma.
Yep.
I see.
So actually, I had a conversation with Jonathan about this because there are certain cigars that don't take well to Spanish cedar interiors, right? So if in his rule of thumb, what he told me was, is if your cigar comes wrapped, perfectly fine for Spanish cedar. If your cigar comes unwrapped, you should avoid Spanish cedar in your humidors
Unless
Me,
it's
For long-term
for
storage.
long-term storage. The other
me. When you say wrap, I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but you mean like sell it?
Cellophane.
cellophane.
Okay.
The other piece, the other sure way to know is that if you buy a box of cigars and it's in a cedar humidor, it's in
Yeah.
a cedar box and the box has got cedar, it's safe to put it in. But if you buy a box of cigars and it's in any other type of container, you should be leery of Spanish cedar.
Okay.
the next
Interesting.
thing we have to do is get two guys to sell Jim's humidors.
There's the
I mean,
gauntlet's been thrown down.
I mean,
Dave has one in his office.
Yeah, he does.
So Jim,
oh,
a toolbox. It looked like an old school toolbox, but the whole thing's built out of wood.
It-
That's in Dave's office right now.
It has the look of a pirate treasure chest.
Yeah,
Really.
That's
That's
true.
what I was.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird because I'll start thinking about this stuff, and then the challenge is making it into a humidor. So any of the pieces of furniture I have, and I think right now I have like 11 in my basement that are waiting to be done, is how you take something that was never designed to be a humidor and make it a quality humidor that holds the moisture well. This week I just started over the weekend, compact disc cases like the DJs used to have back
Yeah.
in the day, the anodized aluminum cases you open up and it's got like room for 1,000 CDs or whatever.
yeah.
So I found them on Marketplace. I bought 5 of them. I tore out the insides. I got them all lined with mahogany, all glued up. I just got to build the trays for them and then put them out there.
We were talking one day. We were sitting outside, and he said, "I wonder if it would be cool to have one in a Milwaukee, like a Milwaukee plastic,
Pack out kit.
pack out kit case." And I said, I don't think you can do it. So I went and bought one, and I left it with him. Jonathan now owns that.
So, Jim, if you're retrofitting an existing piece of
Yep.
furniture, is the seal really in the lining of that?
Yeah.
Or
So what I normally with the ice chest, because the back of them are always beadboard, usually if it's original, and
Yeah.
so that's the easiest way for me to get into them is I'll take the back off, I'll take the top off, strip out the inside because there's insulation in there, there's press board, there's porcelain coated, there's galvy coated stuff. So we tear all that stuff down. And then when I put the mahogany sides in, I use clear silicone.
Mhm.
Or I think right now the best one I found is the clear Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
So I'll lay it right on the edge.
If it's safe for a fish tank, it's probably safe for cigars.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
Through the manufacturer is if the stuff is cured, it doesn't off gas, it doesn't do anything, it holds really well, and it ends up being a really good seal. Charlie's, I try and season all my humidors before they leave the house to make sure that they're tight. I'll put a moist air in there and I'll let it run for a couple weeks to make sure that it's maintaining accurately. Charlie brought his home after it was seasoned, and I think he plugged, that was 6 months ago, and I think he plugged it in for the first time the other day because it was at 63%.
Wow. Okay. So then in terms of the seasoning process, that's something that I know confuses a lot of people and they have issues with. And, I mean, obviously not everybody's got the nice humidors like you've got. A lot of them, like you're talking about, they have the mass produced Chinese ones and whatnot. But like, what's your method for seasoning?
So I don't wipe anything down. The smaller units, if you can't get an electronic humidifier in there, you can wipe them down with distilled water. But the problem is if you soak it in distilled water, you can really never get that out unless you open it up. So what I found is the small Hydra units, they're maybe 8 inches long, a couple inches tall. Anything that I can fit one of those in, I'll put that in there and I'll let it run for a week or so and just let the Spanish cedar absorb the moisture. take that out and then go to Bovita packs or go to a gel jar,
Yeah.
seem to maintain pretty well.
Okay.
The bigger units, the one that we have that we're delivering on Saturday, I have a moistener in it, and I got my hands on, I think, 8 of them, like 6 months ago, the old school stainless steel square boxes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they had all the dials on top with the humidistat to adjust it. There's a guy I think he's out of Philly, and it's the grandson of the original manufacturer of moistener who's got a business selling them brand new, and he converted them all to digital. And I didn't want to pay $250 for a new moistener because I had all the units. So I went on Amazon and I found the controller that he's using. I took it apart and I figured out the wiring on it, and I converted them all to digital. So now I'm running Govee sensors connected to the app on my phone, and I can watch the 4 or 5 humidors going and watch all their humidities. And the moist air is a tried and true. It's literally a pan of water with a fan on it. And it just pushes the moisture into the units.
Nice.
Well,
Okay.
the
Well,
other
very
thing
cool.
he does too that's different is all the inside of them, all the humidors are lined with LED lights.
Yes, I remember
All
seeing the lights. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could change colors. You can have bright white, but you can really see everything in the humidor. It's not just one bulb in the top.
Yeah.
Which is nice because at that point you're only seeing what's on the top shelf. After that, everything's covered in shadow. And,
correct.
yeah. Okay.
And
Very cool.
it ends up being a conversation piece. Like, because they're custom built, I can paint them any color. I can stain them any color. One of the requirements when we were building a couple of them was I had a black one.
Yeah.
It was in there, and my wife hated it because it was ugly and it didn't match the decor of the house. So when I started looking at it, we ended up finding a gray stain on oak where the grain literally just pops right through the oak.
Wow.
So when I built one for myself, it's a double door. It's almost 4 feet wide, about 4 feet, 4.5 feet tall, and it's stained almost like a carbon gray. So the grain pops black. It's got black hardware on it. And with the lights, you can change them to whatever mood you're in. So if you wanted Christmas, you can actually go on the app on your phone, hit the Christmas button, and it'll go green and reds and change color. You can put it to music.
Nifty.
It's relatively simple. It's just a matter of, trying the stuff. The lights we're using are Govee. They're app based. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them almost anywhere. They're peel and stick, and link it to your phone, and you can control it from anywhere. You can actually use the Govee hydrometers on the Govee app, so you can have the lights controlled and the Govee, the humidity, right on the same app with the temperature and everything, and control it. So
that's how mine's set up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay. Neat. Well, very cool. And so again, you have the Facebook page, but and folks can reach out and place an order. And what's shipping like something like that go?
Yeah, it's a small production, right? I'm doing it out of my house. It's the time frames are dependent on when I have time to work on it. I usually spend my weekends in the shop. Depending on how involved it is, this last one I turned out in just under 2 weeks.
Okay.
Shipping's a problem, right? If we're gonna try and send a humidor to the West Coast, it's gonna have
to get
be
expensive.
graded.
Yeah.
But I'm open to ideas. I'd love for somebody to reach out with a really cool piece of furniture that's gonna be tough, that's gonna make me think a little bit, and turn it into a humidor.
I bet you can't do it.
Well, we were trying to figure out how to put one in the trunk of a Tesla.
Oh, see that? Yes.
Well, we were thinking Rivian with that.
Rivian, that's right.
But turns out Rivians are pieces of shit. I just saw this week lowest rated.
Really?
Yeah,
no
cars.
No Rivian.
The Rivian's out.
Oh.
I'm gonna just celebrate my old man status, and I've got a Cadillac on.
Nice.
Look at you.
On the Cadillac, though.
Yeah, we'll have to look and see what nooks and crannies are in that Cadillac.
I think at the very least you can turn the glove box into one, don't you think?
The problem is he's got too many cigars. He's a box.
Oh
guy.
yeah, there's no way he's fitting.
I was thinking about a backpack humidor so that he can walk around with it in there.
I'm pretty light. I probably only have 4 open boxes in the car.
In the car, though. In the car.
Right. That's why people obsess about humidity way more than they need to.
Oh, I've got a box sitting on top of a bookshelf in my place right now that I'm smoking out of. It's just sitting there.
Indoors in the winter, you got to be a little careful, but
yeah,
I've never had a problem with a box in the car until it's gone.
And really, the humidity thing for me, it's not so much. I like my cigars at like 65%.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm in a nice sweet spot right there. But with me, it's more about the challenge, right? You have to be able to figure out not the technology, because it's relatively simple. It's moist air, but you got to make sure that you're not building something that's going to either take it away or put too much to it. It's a paperweight. It's a entertainment center if it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. Now, Chef Charlie, let's pivot to you for a moment. How's the Lost Cowboy doing?
It's great. As a matter of fact, you want to talk about, so you've been to Lost Cowboy.
Yeah, I think I'm just now finally not full after that meal, like months ago. Yeah, I think I'm finally ready to eat again.
You were a lightweight.
Whatever. I don't want to hear it. I was the one who I ate strategically throughout that meal. If you notice, I did not gorge on any specific thing because I wanted to make sure I maintained until dessert because I wanted to try the sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah, and then you had that excuse that you were at the end with the pizza people or something.
The cancer.
That's and that's the other thing. Yeah, exactly. It looked like there was a lot of food on our end because those guys ate pizza beforehand, and it threw everything off. But anyway.
Yeah. So when Lost Cowboy's going very well, very busy still. But when we opened that about Humidors too with Jim, I said to him, I want to give my boss, not Michael, who owns the company, but his son, Ian, who is going to be taking over. I wanted to give him a gift, for us opening it.
That's smart. Get in with the next generation so you preserve your spot.
It's kissing ass.
No. Listen, I've known Ian since he was in high school. So I've known that family a long time. So I know enough about Ian that I don't have to worry about getting in.
So he's groomed his way into the chef position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway.
So I asked Jim, I said, I want to make him a humidor because he smokes cigars. And Jim said, okay. He calls me up. He says, I found this wood. It's 130 years old.
Holy shit.
An old pickle factory in Boston. So he made a humidor out of that wood and then had the whole story behind it, all laminated, about where it was from, when the building was torn down. It was crazy.
And now Ian gets notes of dill on all his.
I was just about to ask if he's getting a pickle flavor on all of his cigars.
He is.
Oh, that's funny. Well, and Charlie, I know you're being very shy, but I want to announce to the people that a project that you haven't talked about, which is that your new educational videos that you're putting out. And I have a short clip of one right here. I'm going to play.
Oh, Jesus.
It's very good, the very chicky cookie. It's very bird, the egg dish.
There you go.
It's very good.
It's true. Yeah.
It's an egg dish. You're making an egg dish there. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
We've been working on those videos for a while now. They're good.
The little cheeky,
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, and then the other restaurants, we talk a lot about Last Cowboy because that's your most recent one. But, for those people who aren't aware, I mean, that's not your only place that you're involved in.
No. I run 8 of them, 8 restaurants.
Holy shit.
2 bakeries, 3 seafood restaurants, a steakhouse, an Italian restaurant, and then the Lost Cowboy. So 3 surf restaurants, Buckley's Great Steaks, Buckley's Bakery and Cafe, Buckley's Bakery and Meat Market, and Mike's Italian.
So, all right, I'm going to put you on the spot. It's your last day on Earth, and you're being told that you have to put together the ultimate cigar dinner. What are you smoking, and what are you pairing with it?
Ooh. Because
everybody talks about, I like to do this with my cigar, but this is it. This This is the chef. This is the main meal. This is the big one.
So if I was going to do, I'm going to go big. So for me, it would be
obviously based off of our meal at the Lost Cowboy.
Well, it's probably going to be a ribeye.
Okay.
Grilled ribeye, roasted potatoes, cream spinach, and then I'm probably going to finish it up with, it's going to be a toss-up between Perdomo 30th sun-grown or HVC World's Strongest.
I'll be damned. All right, then. And you're not throwing in any dessert, no starter, anything like that? I mean,
if I was going to go starter, all right, if we go through each meal.
I will say that salad you had at the Lost Cowboy with the pear and that was really tasty.
Did you just say salad?
Yeah, no shit. Okay, I'm gonna back up a second here because I want to address that point directly. I am not normally a guy that praises salad, as you can see. I am a guy who I equate salad to what the food eats. You know, it's
Correct.
like, whatever. That fucking salad was amazing, dude.
Yeah, but listen,
the only complaint,
if you're gonna be dead, you've got to have foie gras.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
Now the only complaint I would say is you use field greens, and I'm not a fan of that. It's like weed lettuce, so it's like but be that as it may, whatever. Anyway,
it's good lettuce.
I'm not a field green
caviar.
guy.
It's a tough thing. I can never do that when people put me on the spot like that. I can't, because there's so many good things.
I know. Well, I know.
It would be very difficult to come up with one meal and a cigar to go with it.
I'll tell you what.
There's too many cigars I like.
I had a 16-ounce filet with a baked potato for my birthday, and I had a Byron prior to eating that. And let me tell you, that was a really good fucking pairing right there.
You need a big cigar when you do stuff like that. When we go, there's a place that we go to for seafood called Captain John's, and the food they give you a ridiculous amount of food.
Mm-hmm.
But every time Ed and I leave there, we try and pair it with a bigger cigar. It's HVC hot cake. We did
big Neanderthal.
We did Neanderthal one time. Yeah, we tend to go bigger cigars when we eat bigger meals like that. I don't smoke light cigars, so to pair those with, an app or a dessert, I'm always gonna go a big cigar.
Okay, fair enough.
Byron, Atabay's delicious. I love Atabay's, but it's not something I would smoke. I'd always go towards the Byron.
Okay. I didn't know. I mean, it's a on the spot question. I understand, but something to think about. Mull over.
Always full bodied cigars.
Yeah. Okay.
I want foie gras before we have our steak.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Foie gras with some cherries and
fancy. You guys are getting fancy out there.
Oh, we're pinkies up kind of people.
Oh, I can tell. Well, very good. Well, let's go ahead and do this real quick while I got y'all. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. All right, guys, so this is the point in the show when we talk about what you've been watching and entertained by here lately. So who wants to go first? Who have you watched anything, movie, TV? Have you read anything, listened to a podcast that you want to highlight? Anything
it's kind of a group thing. Jim, myself, and his wife, every week we watch Lioness.
We're boycotting Yellowstone, so don't give us any spoilers.
Oh, I haven't watched any of Yellowstone yet. So
yeah, we can't. We're trying to watch it. Charlie caught up on the season. They want to charge $2.99 an episode just out of principle. Just out of principle, we're going to wait till it's all free before we watch it. So don't send us any messages with who dies.
I thought it was. Is that not on Paramount Plus?
No. Yeah. So it's normally it's on Paramount Plus. I think they went to Peacock.
Yep.
Or something like that for the first couple episodes. And it's weird. We want to watch it out in Shetty's. We have full Wi-Fi out here so we can stream.
Yeah.
We can watch it inside, but they want to charge us to watch it out here on the Fire Stick. So we're just going to wait till it's free. Lioness, we have the season finale to watch. What else? We got into Jackal.
So we're finishing up Lioness and Jackal. We spend a lot of time out here.
Okay. No, that's fair. Is Lioness, I think that's the one that I saw an ad and it said that if you liked the Jack Ryan show on Amazon that you would like this.
Yeah,
similar-ish.
Yep. It's a good show. You'd like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ed, you have anything that you've been watching lately you want to throw in?
He watches reruns of the Cigar Authority
Right.
all the time.
I think, well, you saw from my podcast stats that Cigar Pulpit is right up there.
I did see that. I think I was, Rogan, I think. Was it Rogan? No.
No, I think.
Who beat me on your list? I've seen a number of those little Spotify things here lately, and I can't remember.
I think maybe Marin was ahead of
that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know, he's got 2 shows a week, so there's a lot. Maybe Burr was up there too.
Yeah.
And we do have to talk about your last episode a little bit, though.
Oh, God. Wait, now refresh my memory. Which episode are you wanting to talk about?
With the whiskey one.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair. I said from the start. From the start that I am not a whiskey guy. What the hell? I have this like dynamic camera thing on my iPad, and so it'll like zoom out and do some weird shit sometimes. Anyway, no, I said from the start that I don't know shit about whiskey.
Yeah, and I'm not picking on your knowledge of it.
Oh boy.
No, but you have to give it a shot. Listen, I'm not a big drinker myself.
Yeah.
Jim knows I have a ridiculous bourbon collection. Like I think I'm up to about 80 bottles right now.
For a not much of a drinker, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I don't drink that often. It's usually like there's probably 5 or 6 of my bottles here at their house. I bring it over in case people want it, and I do like bourbon, but you have to give it a shot.
I mean, I've tried some things. It's just that one thing I there was one statement I made in that episode that I don't know, maybe this is what you're thinking about, where I said, if somebody offers me something, typically I will probably say no because I don't want to waste it. And that's where I'm coming from, that if you were to come with a bottle of, I mean, shit, man, these bottles I'm listing off in that episode were like $85 on up. I mean, some close to $200. If you gave me a glass of something from a bottle that costs $200, I'm going to feel bad drinking it because it's like, I'm not appreciating it to the level that you're appreciating it. And I feel like, it's a waste on me.
Somebody is offering it to you.
Well, I understand, but I don't want to.
Thank you.
But here's a little cheat. So when I first started getting into bourbon, years ago, and what I started doing, and I still drink it to this day, and you should try it. I take a little bit of A&W cream soda zero.
Okay.
Mix a little bit of that, and I don't give a shit how expensive the bourbon is. I've done it with some expensive bourbons, and I know people are going to shit on that, but
I was going to say there are people
delicious.
Just getting angry right now.
Yeah, that's okay. They can get angry because you know what? It tastes good, and when you pair it with a cigar, it's amazing.
Your camera's showing me the stockings. Yeah. There we go.
It's like your camera. Sometimes it just
decides to do
its own.
Well, I'm glad you got to see the tree and the stockings because one of the things that Jim said is we can't do that stuff. And so when Jim goes to work and his wife and I have the same days off, we go shopping and we do things like buy a tree.
You decorate for Christmas. There you go.
Why not? If we're gonna have a cigar lounge and we spend so much time out here, why not have a tree?
You might as well. So are you pulling like pound cake and all these different exotic flavors from your bourbons
those
and
guys
whiskeys?
are full of shit. Just like with cigars.
Holy shit, man. I'm telling you, look, I get it. Mr. Jonathan has come up with some very intricate flavor notes sometimes and whatnot on the cigars, but like some of these ones they were listing on these bourbons and whiskeys, I'm just like, what the fuck? Where are they pulling this from?
Oh yeah. You see, when I'm tasting a bourbon, I'm looking for if it has a decent amount of caramel or just some sweetness. Some of them are really hot. Some of them have high alcohol and they just burn. And that's where I add a little bit of cream soda. I don't care how expensive it is. I don't care what they did. I don't care that 15 virgins stood there and rolled the barrel. I could care less. It tastes good.
One thing for me with whiskey that I've found is if it doesn't produce that like liquor burn in your chest and throat when you drink it, then it must be a good one, or at least it's higher dollar, because that tends to trend out for me. Is the higher dollar ones tend to be a little smoother,
Yeah, no, I get it.
But
that's all I have to say. I just got to give it a shot.
No, that's fine. I mean, I like I said, I'm not going to probably go out and spend that kind of money on a bottle for myself. And like I said, I just feel bad, taking maybe a little bit, just a smidge. I don't want to.
Well, when you're up for the next Cigar Expo,
oh boy, we're gonna get
next
drunk.
year. We'll do it. and this year, I have to say, or next year, we're not doing seafood.
Okay,
we're doing barbecue.
You can do whatever. I mean, dude, you can do whatever you want to do. I mean,
I know, but we're doing barbecue.
He already decided that he's pretending he did it for you, but he doesn't give a shit.
You were very gracious host, making other and having other things other than seafood. Though I want to say that both of you and Jim, you and your wife, you have a wonderfully magnificent house, and it was very gracious of you to have all of us over and take over the back deck.
Yeah, next year plans are in place. We're going to do a tent outside.
Ooh, a tent.
We got caught in the rain last time, and I'm not one to get caught doing anything. So
I get that.
We're going to get a tent set up outside. We'll have the smoking area again, and we're going to do a full-on, probably a 4-meat barbecue event.
Yeah.
Pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and chicken.
And then all the sides.
Sounds good.
We're expanding.
Sounds good.
We got a couple others coming. Hopefully this year we're going to have it's interesting when you have friends that know people and all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 cigar manufacturers sitting at your dining room table.
Yeah.
And it's panned out. I was texting back and forth talking to Usto last week, and I didn't know that guy from Adam yet. They showed up at our house. They brought cigars. It conversed really well. We got through Charlie. We ended up going to dinner with Nick Perdomo one of the nights during the
that was the night at the Lost Cowboy with Nick and his wife Janine.
Another night.
So
okay.
That was the night I wasn't invited to. Okay.
Well, it was selected, and you didn't make the cut.
That's okay. That's fair. I'm surprised I made the other cut, but whatever.
We end up going to dinner, and we're sitting there at Surf in Nashville having dinner, and we're like, "Oh, what are you guys doing afterwards?" And they were planning and it was mid-September.
Yeah, it was cold.
Maybe 40 degrees out that night. And they were planning to go sit in a parking lot at one of the hotels to watch the
Alabama.
Was it Alabama, Tennessee? Anyway, it was an Alabama game. And, they were planning on blankets. They got a TV to stream it because they had no place else they could go and smoke cigars and watch the game. So my wife pipes up, "Hey, why don't you guys just come back to the house?" Half an hour later, I got 8 people. Nick and his wife Janine are sitting out on the back patio. We got the TV streaming, fire pits going, and we're smoking cigars, watching the game. So these people, I guess I didn't realize through this whole thing is these bigwigs are just normal people, right?
100%.
They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of us.
Yep.
My wife and I were down in Florida for her birthday a couple weeks ago. We went to a local cigar lounge, and there's a sign on the door. 11 o'clock tomorrow, Nick Perdomo is going to be down to do an event. So we were 20 minutes from the cigar. The next day, we left the beach early. We went and hung out there, visited with Nick for a little bit, and then Janine and my wife sat outside for 3 hours.
Holy crap.
Shooting the stuff, just regular people having good conversation. So it's great. Is short a period of time as I've been into cigars. I've met a lot of people in the industry. I've met a lot of people that I wouldn't have normally, and it's been good.
Yeah.
Nick, if it makes you feel better, I didn't get invited to the special dinner either.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I didn't get invited either. I was actually just told we were going to surf.
Well, you know,
Actually, I'm just kidding. I think you told me, and
Yeah.
I said no. I got too
You were
much
tired.
going on.
Yeah.
yeah, it does help that Two Guys is your local shop, you know, for
Correct.
meeting people. You know, let's put it that way.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Listen, I get to be the +1 Friday night. I'm honored.
yeah,
The heavy hitters, these guys in the room that get invited to the heavy hitters club
it's
at Two Guys.
the Christmas party, Dave, for
Oh,
the biggest customers has an appreciation thing every year.
that's
in
nice.
Each of the stores. So
There you go.
So
Does that mean
are
you
you
get-
showing up tomorrow?
That mean
Yeah.
you got to put out, Jim?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, he does. He's good.
He just doesn't know it yet.
He
Yeah.
just doesn't-
Yeah.
I got
He'll
my,
learn it Friday when I drop him off.
yeah. I got 4-inch heels. I'll be okay.
I'm sure Mr. Jonathan can probably share some heels with you if you need taller.
You remember that whole thing, Tuesdays with Maury?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we have Tuesdays with Dave.
Right.
Who could just go sit in his office.
Even when he's not there.
You just take over his office, whether he's there
every
or not.
Tuesday. Every Tuesday, it's generally me, Ed, Dave, and Tony V.
Oh my gosh. There's a
We solve a
combination.
lot of issues on Tuesdays.
I
And
bet.
Dave actually stopped taking some meetings on Tuesdays. I can't do it on Tuesday because of nonsense.
See, now, okay, this is what you need to do, Ed. One day you just need to set up like a little, little webcam in the corner, just something really not obvious at all, and just record that. And that would be a hell.
need to
That'd be a
do
hell of a
heavy
show.
editing on anything.
Oh.
that happens on a Tuesday.
Ooh.
I'm like, that would be a hell of a show right there.
Oh, it'd be a hell of a show. They'd be canceled quick.
You could do it as a Patreon. I bet you could make some real money putting something like that out.
There you go.
There'd be some
Yeah.
reputations destroyed.
Well, we don't want that.
Although we are doing the Christmas episode of Cigar Authority in Dave's office.
Yeah, how are you three gonna I know you did it in his office before.
Yeah.
And I'm normally an audio listener. I don't normally do the video. But how do you manage that with do you guys just sit super close together behind his desk or what? How does this
Well,
work?
Dave's office has got to be at least the size of the shed, maybe bigger. It's wider, I think.
It's
So-
wider. Yep.
Well, that's true because you don't have to be on camera. It's just
No.
he and Jonathan. That's right.
Although I think last time we did it, there was a third host.
Right.
Oh shit!
the
And you
three
guys
of
still
them.
manage. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed sits in the
you need a
hallway.
wide lens for that. Yeah. So.
I was actually literally in the doorway. He could not leave.
Oh, well, fun. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out. I really appreciate it. It's a fantastic looking space. I'm very jealous. Like I said, right now I'm just in my garage, but I have ambitions, for my backyard at some point.
Well,
but
you're more than welcome. Anytime you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up and hang out here with us.
well, I appreciate that.
Sure,
Take a flight.
Jonathan's got an extra room or a couch or something.
The basement where just people are just walking through at random
You'd
times.
be better off just sleeping out here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh, there you go. You put a cot out there. You can rent that out for the expo.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Be a hell of a. Just get like a hose. That way, I could just shower out in the the lawn.
Yeah, right.
You
We
know?
can do that.
We promise we won't televise that.
You promise, right? Well, seriously. So, guys, check out Jim's Humidors over on Facebook. And what was that again? It was Custom Humidors.
Custom Humidors by Jim Paquette on Facebook.
And spell your last name for the folks, just so they know how to.
Paquette.
Perfect. So check those out. They're fantastic. They're gorgeous. I've seen a number of them at his house. They are truly showpieces, and you're going to want to look into it, especially if you live near there and maybe can avoid the shipping costs and can pick one up if you live in that general area, and have something unique that you can convert into a humidor. I mean, it would be really badass. So And give the man a challenge, for God's sakes.
Seriously. Give me something to do, will you?
Yeah, come on. It's not like it sounds like he doesn't have enough to do. So
Jim, could you convert a speedboat into a humidor?
Oh, I'm sure I could.
I could have a boatador.
Oh, there you go.
Botador.
Wow,
For
why
you,
not?
Ed, let's step it up a little bit. Let's convert a yacht. I'll live on
yachtador.
board for a year.
All right.
Well, I'm blank. Oh my God! Of course, right now I'd be blanking on that. The gentleman who owns Aganorsa Leaf.
Fernandez.
Eduardo.
Yes, Eduardo Fernandez. Didn't he boat up to New Hampshire?
Yeah, he did.
See, there
Just
you
going
go.
up the coast
Yeah.
and stopped in Portsmouth, and just out of the blue called the shop and said, I'm in the area. I was thinking of stopping by.
See, there you go. There's a cigar guy with a boat. You need to reach out to him. Make it happen.
That was the day we recorded that interview with him, which was awesome.
Yeah. No, I think that would be cool. You get a Botador.
Botador. There you go.
Botador. There you go.
Houseador, right?
Oh, see now
Convert
you
your
get a
basement.
Houseador. That's a whole different. I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, when you get a shed, we'll come out and outfit it, and then you'll have your own sheddies.
I'll tell you what. I was looking. Sam's Club had they have a shed on special right now. Normally it's like $2,000, but it's like just under 2,000. No, it's normally 2,500. It's like 2,000 now. And I'm like, it's not horrible for like a 16 by, what was it? 16 by 8?
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, it's not huge, but I'm one guy,
You got to be careful. Is it made out of fall of particle board?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what it's made out of. It actually almost looked like it might have been one of those plastic ones, in which
Yeah.
case that's not one I'm interested in.
There's
But
a company near here called Reed's Ferry.
Reed's
and
Ferry shed.
That was always in their commercial. Don't get a shed made out of fall of particle board.
fall particle board. Yeah. No, I was looking at the tough sheds, and because they have the ones where you can convert and add the windows and the different doors and all kinds of different
One of the
things. But
we were talking about last night is the gazebos that you can get for $700-800, 10 by 10. Put them on your deck. You take one of those and you put plastic sides on it. It's just enough to block the wind. A small heater in there.
Yeah.
There's a couple different groups. I'm not sure which one posted it earlier today, but there was probably 30 or 40 pictures of people who have converted outdoor spaces into humidors or
I'll tell you,
smoking areas.
See, I want to go big. I mean, I want to outfit this thing. I want to get electricity run to it.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit that's going to require permits from the city. But it's like I want to make this like a little mini office.
I was going to say it should be a tax write-off for you, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I
There you
mean, this
go.
is all run through business. It's
There you
just a
go.
matter of exactly.
You
Just
got to
gotta make
create
it
a
happen.
studio. It all depends. You just got to get colorful on how you put it through your taxes.
See, and my accountant, she smokes cigars, so it all works out well.
Oh, perfect.
Does she want to sponsor a Shetty's in New York? You got premium space available.
Shit, there's a podcast she could sponsor first,
And one of the things that we're trying to get our hands on is some metal signs, like the
tin
sign,
ones,
the
yeah.
tin signs.
It's funny. I don't have that, but I did just literally just today get this guy for the
Cool.
shed here, or for the garage thing. Problem is it's freaking huge and I don't know what to do with it, but Villiger sent me that and it was really nice because they sponsor I don't know if they still do or at least used to sponsor a Formula One team.
Wow.
And I was like, that's pretty cool.
I think
So-
McAuliffe has a Formula One team that they're sponsoring.
Wow.
Really?
We're gonna make some connections. We got some things out there we're working on. But if anybody has any metal signs they want to send us, let me know.
I just want one of those damn Aladino things like you got behind you there. It's like, again, I'm the Aladino Studios. I got a nice wall right there that would look really, really nice in.
Oh,
So,
perfect.
hey,
I'm pretty
Tremac,
sure-
Husto,
I'm-
make this happen.
Hey, I'm pretty sure he's going to be watching this. When we talked the other day, he was looking forward to this episode. So
Well, come on.
maybe Viv can send you a couple signs next week.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Well, I really want to thank Jim and Charlie and Ed for taking time out of their day today. That is a badass little smoking area they've got there. I'm jealous of their spot. And guys, again, if you are interested in a custom humidor, I would say if you're in their geographic region, realistically, it probably makes more sense to stick local. But then again, maybe you're out on the West Coast and you got something particularly awesome that you think would make a very cool humidor. Reach out to Jim. Go to his Facebook page and reach out to Jim. He's looking for challenges, and so there's that. Well, needless to say, since I am recording bookends for the interview, I've not gotten very far in my Rocky Patel vintage 2003 Cameroon. But to be honest, I'm not really reviewing that one. The Diamond Crown that I had, I didn't really get a chance to talk about it too terribly much with those guys. That Diamond Crown was a fantastic cigar, very creamy and smooth. Retro hail on it was great. Easy, very slight little hint of pepper to the retro hail, but not even all that terribly much. It was a very nice, good, well-balanced, really, really nice cigar. So I really did enjoy that. This guy's smoking really good too. I mean, it's early. It's very early. So realistically, I don't think I'm going to have too much to say about it, but that's okay. But what I am going to have something to say about is this. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars, can't clip our wings. Alrighty, guys, so now it is time that we learn a little bit about Lydia. Sorry, it's late and reading is not more happening well. And talking, evidently. What the fuck? Maybe I'm stroking out here on the show. Anyway, Lydia Angiou. So a few years ago, Lydia was walking down the road with her son and two nephews in tow when one of her nephews mentioned that there was an animal behind them. Lydia turned around to discover a 700-pound polar bear standing a few meters away. Rather than following normal instincts and running away, Lydia ran towards the bear, yelling in an effort to protect her family. The polar bear did attack Lydia, but she managed to escape the ordeal with only minor injuries when a fellow villager came to her rescue. So be like Lydia Angiou and Blackbird Cigars and don't let anybody clip your wings. Now, I've always been told that if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, hit the ground. And if it's white, you're fucked. So, she evidently defied the rules. And she fought and scared this, or at least got the polar bear to not attack the kids. So that's good. We don't want that. But anyway, have you guys seen that little? I've seen this video on Instagram, and I just, I question whether or not things are real. I see these things on Instagram, and I just don't know if it's real or not. But it's this reel on Instagram where they talk about this albino grizzly bear that somebody found him in the forest, like a conservation group found him in the forest, but they thought it was a polar bear that had stumbled down too far. So they trank him. They take this poor bear up to the Arctic, and now this fucking grizzly's waking up, and he's like, "What the fuck? I'm in the Arctic. What am I gonna do?" So he makes his way. He somehow or another he makes his way back down into the forest. Well, somebody sees him again, thinks he's a polar bear. They trank him. They bring him back up there. Well, this time now he's tagged. And so, somebody up there is like, wait a minute, this bear's tagged. And they figure out, oh, no, this bear shouldn't be here. So they take him back to the forest. Well, then it happens a third time. I swear to God, according to this video, it happened a third time. But he had, figured out the way back to the forest after this happening to him twice before. And like, you're just watching this video. And again, I just don't know if it's true or if somebody like compiled video clips to make this story. But holy shit, it cracks me up. But at the same time, I feel so bad for the bear because it's like, can you imagine you're just living your best bear life and all of a sudden somebody fucking tranks you and you wake up in the fucking Arctic? You're like, holy shit, I gotta get home. And then you get home and it happens again and then again. It's like that sucks. That's horrible. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, let's talk about the socials. I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. I'm on Twitter /X. I am on Rumble, and guys, follow me on Rumble because while I am also on YouTube, I don't know how much longer I'll be on YouTube. Lord knows. I haven't gotten another strike yet, knock on wood, but I did just do the Two Guys commercial twice in this episode. So Lord knows that might trigger the AI bots to be like, holy shit, he's really pushing the sale of tobacco in this one. So like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then if you want to watch it, if you use Spotify, I do have Spotify videos, so you can watch on there if you'd like. And and then I do need your calls for the Ask the Pulpit hotline. I have not gotten like any calls in a long time, and I don't know if it's because I've kind of forgotten to mention it with the whole Rumble situation going on. But area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. Call me. Leave me messages. Tell me things. Like, you know, was this bear story real or was it fake? I don't know. I think it's funny. But at the same time, it could very well be fake. But call me. I like to have the phone calls. So, you know, make me feel like you care and leave me a message. Anyway. And then again, we are still taking nominations. This is probably going to be ending here soon. So, I'll probably be cutting this off here possibly by like the end of this upcoming weekend. I might be cutting it off by, you know, midnight Sunday into Monday. But we are taking nominations for the Pulpit Parishioners Cigars of the Year. So head on over to, I have a post in the Parishioners group on Facebook. I have a post on Instagram. You can leave a comment on either one of those, listing off your favorites, you know, list off your nominations for the 2024 Cigar of the Year. And then also, if you are not a social media person, you can just email me at nick@cigarpulpit.com, and then at that point you can submit your nominations that way. Either way, you know, you get your nominations in and everybody's happy. So get your nominations in, have your voice be heard, and then at some point, then after all the nominations are in, I will put together the ballot and you guys can start voting, and then everybody can learn, you know, what you liked this year. So anyway, I guess that's it. So guys, I really want to thank Jim and Charlie and Ed once again for taking time out of their day. And I really did enjoy the Diamond Crown. And I will say, this Rocky Patel, it almost went out on me because I'm talking too much right now. But it hasn't yet. And even though I'm very freshly into this cigar, I am enjoying it. So I understand why Charlie likes it so much. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for taking time out. And this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick. Stay safe and stay smoky. Thanks, everybody.